everybody, how's it going? Stoutman coming back at you once again, and as somebody astutely pointed out in a comment the other day, yes, I finally got around to filling up all of my shelf, but as you can see, it's not enough room. Thankfully, I thought ahead, and I got another shelf that looks just like this that I'm going to be putting on this wall over here. I don't know if you could imagine how that might look, but if you can, if you have that kind of spatial whatever in your head to be able to recognize that and try to figure out how it might look, then yeah, that's my plan at least for now. And it should be big enough to fit all those Blu-rays and some DVDs, which I still have a lot of in boxes. So yeah, it's just a matter of, because of all the boxes I have, it's a matter of making room to build the shelving unit so that I can put everything on there. So anyways, that said, I am here today to talk to you about Blu-rays that I picked up, but I also wanted to mention that I have a couple more t-shirts that I made on Amazon, or made and I put them on Amazon. These are kind of more funny, I think, because at least in this case they're focusing on geeky, nerdy things, in particular Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing kind of memes, if you will, jokes, if you will. The first one simply says, "May the dice be with you." If you've ever played a role-playing game, then you know that sometimes the dice just aren't in your favor. Sometimes you roll the critical fail and it just doesn't work in your favor. And then other times, for whatever reason, you roll a critical on initiative. I guess that's good, but it's like you're behind everybody else in the party, and they're in the way, keeping you from actually being able to get where you need to go, and you roll critical in initiative. Yeah, you get to go first and you can't go anywhere. Woohoo! Yeah, it's happened to me a few times. The other one is a kind of little joke that I came up with, rolling with the gnomies. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's come up with that before, but right now I'm playing a character that is a gnome, and it just kind of randomly popped into my head, and I thought, well, that's pretty funny. So, went ahead and made that a t-shirt as well. I don't know how many people are going to like those, but I thought they were pretty funny. Anyways, let's get on to the actual, Blu-rays that I'm here to talk to you about today. So I made 4 pickups here, all of them from Amazon, and all of them, I would say, in their own rights, classics. So, pretty cool stuff. Some of them were pretty cheap. Well, actually, all of them, in their own rights, were pretty cheap. They're pretty affordable. More affordable than usual, so I just had to jump on them, snag them when I could for a really good deal. And damn, these were a good deal. So I'm glad we're finally getting into, it's not quite spring yet, but we're finally getting out of the doldrums, or we're finally getting some more deals, and it's just like, thank you. I feel like this is the beginning of some good deals to be found throughout 2018. So anyways, let's just start off here with Wall Street, the double feature Blu-ray here, which has the original movie Wall Street and the not the remake, but the sequel, Wall Street Money Never Sleeps, which, if you've seen the movies, that's something Gordon Gekko says in the first movie, Money Never Sleeps, and then he kind of says something similar in the new one as well. But they are just such different movies, and I feel like they're different for a reason. Obviously, Oliver Stone is a great filmmaker, and he's a very political filmmaker, and everything he makes has a message to it. It's like an important message, or at least something he feels is an important message. So I feel like one of the messages that you get from the first movie is just like that people are freaking terrible, and just a general sense of hopelessness, I guess is what I would say. While in the second movie, it's just like this is a completely different generation, and it's almost a completely different look at and take on what Wall Street and capitalism represents. Because the first one really did not have any positive things I feel like to say about capitalism, while the second one, well, it spent a lot more time talking about how these bubbles exist throughout nature. These are the kind of things that we are experiencing in the stock market and the economy and through capitalism today are things that just happen naturally throughout human history and throughout, the history of living beings. So it's interesting because it's definitely a more hopeful movie, and I like that because I also like the take that they had on my generation in particular, because, well, for one thing, Gordon Gekko pretty much says it very, very true in his speech in the movie that we are fucked. This generation is just fucked. Millennials are fucked. And he kind of explains that, like, the whole we are ninjas. We're the ninja generation, which I feel like is what it should be called. Yes, the no income, no job, no... What was the A again? Assets. No assets. So, yeah. Very true if you think about a lot of the people in my generation are experiencing that. And it's because of course, the huge recession, the huge, almost depression kind of situation that we had going on. And I also like that this is one of the first movies that really takes on that whole, too big to fail crap, and how these asshole companies played the American people, all that stuff, right? It's the first to be vindictive about it. It's the first to say, we want to get you back for that kind of thing, you know what I mean? I liked The Big Short as well. The Big Short was really good for that, but Wall Street Money Never Sleeps was very good for that. And honestly, perhaps it's because I'm a millennial that I feel this way, but I kind of like the second one better. And it's probably because it just speaks to me more than it does to previous generations, right? But yeah, because it does speak to me more, and because I feel like in a lot of ways, like, the acting was a lot better in some ways. Not necessarily from the man himself, but the supporting actors in the movie, I felt like, oddly enough, were a lot better than in the original movie. I mean, you can call me crazy if you want to, but I just feel like that's the reality of it. That's my personal opinion, though. Take it as you will. $5.99 for both of these movies in one set. Great freaking deal. $3 a movie, you can't beat that. Another $5.99 title here is Heavy Metal. Now this one I have not actually ever seen before, but I know that's a travesty, which is why I bought it here finally. Got it in my collection for $5.99. Very, very good deal. And of course, a classic, a must-watch, a must-own. So, because of that, I said, yes, I'm going to buy this at that price. Sight unseen. Because I know all the great things I've heard about it, and I know how important it is to, film history. And it's just like, if all these things are coming together, then of course, it's something I'm going to need to watch and probably own at some point. One thing, though, I wondered, like, this feels like something that could even possibly get a Criterion at some point. Probably not, but I don't know. We'll see. Either way, paying $5.99 for this copy is not a bad deal. And the special features include original feature-length rough cut with an optional commentary, deleted scenes with optional commentary, and Imagining Heavy Metal documentary. So, not a whole lot of special features, but there's some pretty interesting ones on there. Heavy Metal, man. Got to give it a chance, and quite frankly, I can't believe I haven't given it a chance yet. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, so time to correct that. $5.99, very good deal for that. Now then, speaking of Criterion, there were 2 movies that came out recently from Criterion that were, you know, kind of horror related, kind of not the kind of thing that you typically see from Criterion. You know, sometimes they do throw us a bone here and there, the genre fans, if you will, but it's not very often that they do. So when I heard about these particular movies, like the newer movie, well, one of them is a newer movie and the other one is just freaking classic, right? I knew I had to get them. I knew that I was going to pre-order them. What I didn't know was that the pre-order price was going to drop to like under $19. It was $18.31, I think, for both of them. And I bought in at that price for both of them. I was just like, the second that they dropped to that price, put the pre-order in, because I wasn't going to chance it. So, sure enough, I decided to pick up Night of the Living Dead here on Criterion. Now, some of you may remember that I also have this version, which I got before I knew that there was going to be a Criterion version. So, stupid me, I guess. But that being said, I'll probably just sell this or something, call it a little bit of a loss, but either way, considering that I got this for $18 and it's a Criterion, I'm not too beat up about it. And you know what? This came in a digipack form, which I love, because the past few times that I've pre-ordered Criterions, they did not come in a digipack. They came in like a standard Blu-ray case, or a standard Criterion Blu-ray case, I guess you could say, because they have their own kind of cases, which isn't necessarily a problem. I kind of like that they all just fit on my shelf without any problem. Not that these aren't going to fit on my shelf either, but regardless, I kind of prefer this packaging. I prefer the digipack packaging because it's usually what they do for the first print, and after that first printing, you don't see it again. And so that means that the first printing is usually like a little more valuable, holds more value, gains more value over time than the subsequent printings. So very glad that they decided to do that with these particular releases, and that I got them for such a steal, because you know that at $18 this is going to accrue in value very quickly. And it is indeed the best version of the movie to have now. Good friend Skin Slip pointed out the other day, apparently somebody was able to get a snapshot from the movie, from the new 4K transfer of the movie here on Blu-ray from Criterion, and they discovered that for the first time in the history of the releases of this film on physical media, for the first time, we have been able to see the calendar on the wall. There's a calendar on the wall in one scene, and it tells you December. Apparently all this took place during December, which means Night of the Living Dead, this classic horror movie, is also a Christmas movie. Who knew? That's kind of funny, I thought. It comes with this really cool poster. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. As you can see, that's the eye right there. I don't really want to unfold it, because then just the act of unfolding it is guaranteed going to like destroy it or create little miniature folds somewhere, and even if I were to fold it right back up in the same shape, it still wouldn't be new. You know what I mean? It would be like new. So I don't really want to mess with that, but maybe I will at some point. Who knows? This comes with a boatload of special features, as most Criterion editions do. It has a new restoration of the Monaural soundtrack, supervised by Romero and Gary Strainer, and presented uncompressed. Night of the Anubis, a never-before-presented work print edit of the film. New program featuring filmmakers Frank Darabont, Guillermo del Toro, and Robert Rodriguez. Never before seen 16mm dailies reel, new program featuring Russo on the commercial and industrial film production company where key Night of the Living Dead filmmakers got their start. 2 audio commentaries from 1994 featuring Romero, Russo, producer Carl Hardman, actor Judith O'Dea, and others. Archival interviews with Romero and actors Dwayne Jones and Judith Radley. New programs about the film's style and score. New interview program about the direction of ghouls, featuring members of the cast and crew. New interviews with Gary Striner and Russell Striner. Newsreels from 1967. Trailer radio spots and TV spots, plus an essay by critic Stuart Clowans. That was a mouthful because there is a lot on this set. So, yeah, very happy to have this. That said, I do believe that I'm going to be hanging on to, I believe it's called the Millennium Edition DVD, the one that comes in the red case, or at least mine came in red case, because I think there are some special features on there that are not available on this. So if you're interested in keeping those special features and you still have that DVD copy, don't just get rid of that and get this instead. Keep that one. Also get this. This is fantastic. Best the movie has ever looked in high definition. Definitely worth the purchase. Like I said, you're seeing such good detail in the new 4K restoration of the film that you can make out details in the background that were never possible to see before. So, yeah. That says it all, I feel like. And now, next up we have, last but not least, Silence of the Lambs. And honestly, this is a case where you can get rid of the old Blu-ray you have and the old DVD you have and just replace it with this one because, well, it's beautiful. I don't know why, but I'm so much more happy with this one. I think it's because, in this case, this is a movie that really hasn't, like, it has gotten critical attention. It has gotten critical praise and love. However, in terms of physical releases, there haven't really been that many physical releases of this movie that showed it any of them. There's no real Millennium edition of this. There's no edition of this that has like boatloads of special features and is in deluxe packaging or anything like that. It's always gotten just like the raw end of the deal, I feel like, when it came to physical releases. In most cases, it just didn't get that many good physical releases. Sometimes it got okay physical releases, but nothing that really highlighted how special it was or how it really captured, you know, a moment in time, I feel like, for thriller films in the 90s. It really set the tone for films of its ilk in the 90s. So, you know, it's always been a little disappointing to me that they haven't really given it as much love as I feel like it deserves. I feel like it's a more important film than just a regular old release gives it credit for. So I was so happy when Criterion announced that they were going to release this, because I was just like, finally this movie is getting some of the credit that it deserves. Honestly, all of the credit that it deserves. Holy crap, maybe even above and beyond. This is beautiful. Again, comes in the nice digipack here, but the thing, instead of a poster, you get one of the thickest booklets I have seen in a Criterion edition. Now I know Criterion is not shy, they don't shy away from doing these super thick booklets. However, this 54, 55, yeah, 55 pages. Like, holy cow, that's more than most digibooks, guaranteed. And as a result, the digipack had to be a little bit bigger as well, so guaranteed as well that they're not going to do a second printing of that digipack. But this is just really nice, way nicer even than I would have expected. This booklet here is just above and beyond to me. But yeah, again, comes on 2 discs because there are a boatload of features. One of the big things here, again, is that it is a 4K restoration, the first 4K restoration of the film. Alternate 5.1 surround sound master audio soundtrack. Audio commentary from 1994 featuring director Jonathan Demme, actors Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, screenwriter Ted Talley, and former FBI agent John Douglas. New interview with critic Maitland McDonough. 38 minutes of deleted scenes. Interview from 2005 with Demme and Foster. 4 documentaries featuring hours of interviews with cast and crew. Behind-the-scenes featurette, storyboards, trailer, plus the book, which includes an introduction by Jodie Foster, an essay by critic Amy Taubin, pieces from 2000 and 2013 by author Thomas Harris on the origins of the character Hannibal Lecter, and a 1991 interview with Demme. So, yeah, lots of good stuff in this one, and again, above and beyond what I feel like any other studio release of this has given it in terms of credit. So, yeah, very, very nice. I think probably the best version of the Silence of the Lambs that there will ever be. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but this is really nice. This is very key, very nice. So yeah, really cool to be able to get these here. This Criterion's on the best of days during Criterion sales. You can get them for $20. The fact that I was able to pre-order both Night of the Living Dead here and Silence of the Lambs for under $20, and I got both of the first printing digipack versions of the films, that's an amazing deal. That's an amazing, incredible deal. I can guarantee you that the second that the first printing is gone, these will accrue in value beyond, well beyond what I paid for them. So, yeah, hell, they're probably worth now more than what I paid for them already. So, yeah, you can get a copy right now for maybe $22 to $27 or something like that, but I paid $18, so I think I got a better deal. And honestly, that's why sometimes you have to keep an eye out for the pre-orders on Criterions, because every now and then something weird like that will happen where the pre-order will be a lower price than it will ever be again, you know. So yes, very, very nice deals here. Very happy about those. And of course, also very happy for $5.99 a piece to get Heavy Metal and both Wall Street movies. Great stuff. Very good stuff. So anyways, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.